right, so here's the plan. Yeah, I still left 1, 2, 3 as your assigned homework for today. But if you look over at that board, realistically, we will not be done with 1, 2, 3 today. So, I'm a math guy. I try to, work in reality. And if we can't move quickly enough, we just can't, right? So it's okay. Sorry, I said the bad word. So today we're going to do more 1, 2, 2 stuff. Probably a little bit of 1, 2, 3 stuff. And we might start your homework quiz. Because I had up here yesterday, if you read it, that there was going to be a homework quiz. So please ask questions if you got them. So we're going to check 1, 2, 1 right now. So get out 1, 2, 1. And if you have questions, it would behoove you. It would be a good idea. It would behoove you to ask questions about that because you're not sure what might be on the homework quiz, but you can guess it's stuff that we've done on our homework. So the yogurt problem that we've referenced many times, we would predict strawberry yogurt. Our chance of, I forget what they asked about, vanilla is 1/5. Here, I'll show you guys my homework actually too. For the putting them on the line, guys, you could have just written A, B, C, D, like you could have just written the letters. So remember that a 1/4 chance is the same as 25%. Right, a 1/4 chance, because if we made 1/4 into a fraction that had 100 on the bottom, it would be 25 over 100. I forgot to write that work up there, but that's the in-between, is it becomes 25 over 100. For theoretical or experimental, if you got any of these wrong, don't beat yourself up. It's still kind of tricky, but what you have to ask yourself is, did we think about it or did we do it, right? So the chance of getting tails when flipping a coin is 1/2. It does not say I flipped the coin, because we just think about it. So that would be theoretical. We thought about it. I flipped the coin. It's experimental. We did it. Guys, if you don't have 1, 2, 1 done, I don't care. Just get it out so you're looking at it with us. Nobody should have nothing out. Nobody should have nothing out right now. Everyone should have 1, 2, 1. And if you lost it, come get another copy because you need it. My mom packed. It happened. I observed it. Experimental. You could have said theoretical here too. I've had conversations with students where they make a pretty good argument for, well, I'm predicting the future of something that hasn't happened yet, but it's based off what we saw. It's kind of a tricky question. Chance of winning the state lottery is 1 out of whatever, unless you buy multiple tickets, but that would be theoretical. We did not actually win, because to say that's true, I would actually do it, right? Based on mathematical models, so theoretical. And Lena got, she did it, right? So experimental. Questions? On the back, this is a really nice visualization of how to, so guys, this could be 8/10, right? It is 8 out of 10 if I look at the columns. No, so seriously, if I look at the columns, I just heard somebody say you mean 80. If I look at columns, yeah, so 8/10 if I just look at columns, or 80 out of 100 if I look at all of the squares. Sorry, need another 0. So that's how it becomes 80%. Yeah, so obviously I did not answer all of these. Biggest thing I would, like, when I'm checking your homework, I'm looking to see, did you get it to percent correctly? So this could be 12.5 out of 100. You could also actually make this 125 over 1,000. Yeah, because if we move this decimal over by 1, we also move this decimal over by 1, which adds on a 0. And over here in the last one, it could be 1/10 if we just looked at rows, Remember, columns go up and down, rows go back and forth. So that's why over here I said columns, and over here we're saying rows. 1/10 or 10 out of 100. And there are other ones that we could use. 61 was difficult, and I'm going to warn you, this always somehow tends to be difficult on the mastery, so I want to talk about it. Median is the middle, right? So when you're driving down the road, the concrete thing, if you're on the highway, that concrete divider, that's called the median, or the grass in between the road, like the two lanes, that's called the median. It's the middle. So to find the median, we line up our numbers in order. Then because there's 10 of them, there's no actual middle. So listen, especially if like you just went to homework help or something, I'll come to you in just a second, John. So I forgot 13.9 when I wrote these down and I was working in a pen. So you should do math in pencil, right? Learn from my mistakes. There are 5 numbers on this side, 5 numbers on this side. So the median would be between 13.9 and 14.1, which is 14. So even though 14 is not a number that you have up there, it is your median. So if you have an even amount of data points, right? If you have an even amount of data points, you have to actually figure out the median for what numbers between my other numbers. Sorry, 13.9 should have been written right in here. This is kind of making it tricky to see what we did. And then 462. I always, anytime I see a bar graph, write how many are in that bar. So there's 1 in this bar, 5 in that, so on. A, nah, his fastest pitch is not necessarily 75. Oh, yeah, I was going fast. So mean, thank you for asking about that, because it does ask us to do that. What is mean? What's a synonym? Average. Yeah, well, that's what we do. So the synonym for mean is average. So to make sure that we all know how to do this. Yeah, I told you guys I'm a fan of calculators. 9.2. Guys, literally, there is some math that you can't do without a calculator unless you spent a lot of time memorizing, like trigonometry. Oh, if you want to see examples of math I literally had to do this summer for the jobs I was working, this bulletin board over here has a bunch of my, from my personal notebook. 14.1, 15.6, need a plus. Guys, the biggest thing when finding mean is typing in your numbers correctly and making sure you got all of them. So if we want to go back and double check, count that you got 10 numbers typed in, right? So then we add them all up. Give me your eyes. I had 3 people come to me and say, I know this is not the mean. Something's happening in my calculator. Watch. I just added all these up, and now I'm going to take my 153.1 and divide it by, how many data points did we have? 10. That'll be my mean. But I had people coming to me who in their calculator, guys, look up here. Please, please, please look up here. Had said add. And then, so I'm trying to get this so you guys can actually see the screen. And then they hit divide by 10. Which is what you're supposed to do, right? I add them all up and divide by 10, but your calculator's dumb. Because your calculator is going to do this. I'm going to divide by 10 and then add everything up. Because PEMDAS, your calculator's dumb. You have to think. Okay, so when Deekshita was just giving me a hard time, that's great, right? Like, oh, you're using a calculator. Like, yeah, but if I use it wrong, I get the wrong answer. So, like, a calculator does not guarantee right answers. You gotta use it correctly. Any questions on what I mean by, like, this is not gonna get me the right answer, right? 133.5 is definitely not the average there. Deekshita? So did I do something wrong? As your average? Oh yeah, you did what I'm talking about. You used your calculator wrong. Or you did some of the math wrong. If you didn't use a calculator, you just made a mistake somewhere. Which happens. It's totally fine. Alright. We got other stuff to do. Did we spin the mystery spinner yesterday?
No. We didn't even.
So hey, it looks like I maybe added up my numbers wrong. I'm trying to go fast, probably too fast for today. Yeah, they say the mean was also 14. So I think I did something wrong in my calculator. So we can go double check at some point if we want. Anyone want to read? John, go ahead and read for us.
Have you ever tried to predict which football team will win a big game? If so, you probably did not pick the team with the coolest colors of the newest mascot.
That's what I do.
You may have based your pick on statistics about win-loss records, player injuries, and other data. Knowing what has happened in the past can sometimes help you predict what will happen in the future. In this lesson, we will use the data to make predictions.
Go ahead and read those questions if you want. Yeah. As you work with your team to uncover a mystery spinner, keep the questions below in mind.
What is the probability or likelihood? What do we expect to happen? How does the actual event compare to our prediction? And what can we know for sure?
So, we are being asked to bet, essentially, or like make a prediction. So what I need you to write on the top of your paper right now is statistics. I will help you guys spell that if you need. This is what we're doing. We are doing statistics.
On the spinner? Or on our note?
You need probably like a third of a sheet of paper for today. So on your notes paper, like your graph paper or whatever, you probably just need like a third of a piece of paper. So you could start a new one if you want. Yeah, if I can spell it right. Statistics is often abbreviated stats. And we do not mean like, give me 50 cc stat. That means like right now. I'm not exactly sure why, but that's different. Stats, right? People will be like, oh, what's the stats? Stats, just a fancy word. Data, whatever you want to say, tomato, don't care. Data or data, stats is just data. So we are going to try to use statistics to figure out the mystery behind this mystery spinner. So I need you to figure out how you want to collect your data. I would either write down a letter to correspond with the color that we get, or make some columns on your paper. I'm for sure that there is green on the spinner. So either write down a G or make a G column and put a tick mark there. We got a G. We got one green. John?
We have time to finish it, right? Because most of us have not colored it
Oh,
all in.
the spinner coloring? We can do that either later today in class or tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to take a little quiz so you'll have a little bit more flexibility. I'm probably going to show you the quiz before you walk out of here. I'm going to show you all the questions. Guys, that's a thing a lot of us Phoenix teachers do. We'll say, this is the test you're taking. Look at it. Know what's on it. Be ready. And then we give it to you the next day. Like, it's a lot of times kids are like, isn't this like cheating? No. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Yeah. Well, but you were better because of it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that wasn't great. All right, so we got a green. Everyone got it written down? One green. That was spin number one. Can I stop here and say the spinner's green? No. Right? Now, this spinner is not your spinner. This is not what I was having you color, okay? This is a different one. It's a mystery. We don't know what's up. So a second spin. I get purple. Can I now say the the spinner is like half green, half purple?
No.
Why?
You need to spin it one more time at least.
Why?
Because if it changed back to green and purple in the next 2 times, then it has a probability of like 4 to 10.
All right, we're going to start using cards, so I think John's going to take my job if I don't stop letting him teach for me. Farah, what do you think? How many times should we spin this to be able to like make a prediction? Do you think 3 is enough? John said go 1 more, go to 3. What would be a nice number to work with? 5. 5's a nicer number because we can kind of, when we're thinking about fraction decimal, like 5 on bottom would be pretty good. 10 on bottom's really nice. Let's get to 10 times. Right? Anyone like that idea? So we've done it twice, right? Spin 3. We got purple again. So either write down a P or put a tick mark in your purple column. That was 3. Yeah? Spin 4. Green. Ooh. We're like half and half, it sounds like. Seems like, right?
It's going to change to yellow.
5th spin. Purple.
It's green.
6th spin. Purple. 7th spin. Ooh, purple's winning out. 8th spin.
There's 2/3 purple and 1/3 green.
9th spin. And spin 10. So now with that what was the data? Can you give me those numbers back? How many green, how many purple? 3 green, 7 purple. So if it's 3 out of 10, and we go to make that into a percent, what percent would 3/10 be? Just shout it out. 30, right? Because 3/10, if I have a 3 on top and a 10 on bottom, then I got to get to 100 on bottom, right? So I turn into 30. So we think 30% of the spinner is green, and 70% is purple.
Yeah.
Well, what percent is orange? Oh, I didn't tell you this. Oh. This spinner is green, purple, and orange. What was that? Say it louder.
One tiny little slip is going to be orange.
Yeah, we don't know, right? Right now, it's like, is it like the... That's like when the teacher says, we're going to spin this spinner, and there's a chance of no homework, and they made it like tiny little sliver of no homework. Guys, orange is up here. What could we do to figure out how much of it is orange? We stopped at 10. What can we do? Do another 10. So we end up, hold on. Do you want to do a separate 10 or make our number 20 now? Here is what I am trying to get you to learn from right now. The sample space, and we'll write this down in a minute. The sample space is the data we collect. The bigger your sample space is, the better it is. So the more times we do this, the better prediction we have. So let's try 10 more. Spin 11, green. Spin 12, purple. Purple's not letting green get away with this. 13, purple. Bored of purple. 14, purple. 15, purple. 16, green. 17, green. 18, green. Uh-oh, we're getting a lot of green now. 19, there's an orange. And 20. So, I don't need to come back here now that I finally figured out how my computer works. So, what we just said, actually I could use that page, is our sample space. So write this down, please. Our sample space was 20 spins. In that sample space, we had how many orange?
One.
Just one lonely orange. How many green? 7. And how many purple perps?
12.
So, guys, this is practicing for the quiz I'm going to give you tomorrow. If I make this into a fraction, 1 out of 20, but if I'm trying to get to percent, what needs to go on bottom? 100. Ooh, we got to multiply by 5. Making orange 5%. 5% chance. Do that for green and purple. Turn them into the fraction we want, and then turn them into the percent we want. You talk with your partners. So, we know we're going to multiply by 5 on each of these. We're going to multiply by 5 on each of these. If you are at all struggling with this, please make sure you write down the times 5. Guys, it is the bottom that tells us what to do. It's taking the 20 and figuring out how do we get it to 100. That's what tells us what to do. You guys want to see the quiz for tomorrow? Yeah, you probably just wish it didn't exist. That is the wrong schedule, Hudson. All right, give me your eyes. Check it. What's this say? No calculator. So there's your warning. If you've been relying on a calculator this whole time, number 1 is a no calculator problem. Guys, I wrote all this, right? So this is not some like CPM thing or whatever. Like, I want you to know these things. So if you can't, come work with me, right? This is the point. Like, the whole point of Phoenix is like we're here to work together. So I give you percent, decimal, fraction, percent, decimal, fraction. Right? So you got 2 of each. You're going to place it in the table. So like A goes with A, right? B with B. Y'all are smart. And then whatever ones you don't have, you provide for me. So if I gave you the percent, 58%, you would write 58% here. And then give me the decimal that represents 58% and the fraction that represents 58%. Nope. Because I might change the numbers. Find the area of, what's this shape? What's this shape? What's this shape? And this shape. So all 4 that were in your math notes box. That was on page 10 of your textbook. Go review it if you need to. And then a problem about muffins. The muffin is a lie. There are no muffins. Do not ask me for a muffin. Anyone ever play Portal? The game Portal. I love Portal. The cake is a lie. The cake is a lie. And then, fun fact. I'm going to start to try to do this year, because especially with us all wearing these annoying masks, I want to get to know you a bit more. So at the end of my quizzes and tests, I'm probably going to ask you to tell me a fun fact about yourself. Make it something new. I already read all your stories about yourself from your homework. Give me something new. But my fun fact for you is, funny enough, this weekend I will be working at the Worthington Farmers Market. So if you want to come see me and buy some vegetables or some farm fresh eggs, my buddy works at Jorgensen Farms, so I will be at the market. So yeah. So tomorrow, you will take this on a piece of paper on your own. You may use a calculator on anything you want that is not problem 1. So here, in the area problems, 100% can use a calculator, right? So bring your calculator. I've got some to loan, but not enough. Bring your calculator. Have a good day, guys. You can pack it up and head it out. That is it for today. Thank you. Yes. Absolutely. I would love